Hello, girlfriends, and welcome to another episode of Tracy Gold Show. And this is take two because we had some technical issues, but we are talking about how you can use style for good. And my guest today is Style by Evan. She's absolutely amazing. She's going to tell her story of how she used style to help the people of Cuba and how it's uplifted entire communities. So welcome, okay, Evan. I'm just going to let you. Hopefully it works this time. Don't we just love technology? It can be a real pain.
Hey.
Fantastic. Okay, so we'll just start again. I don't know, it just died. The whole thing died. Okay, just a second, Evan. I know it's just it happens. It has happened. It's never died like that on me before, though. Okay, so for those who are joining us again, because maybe we have some new people who are now joining us. Oh, and the lovely sirens outside New York City.
Of course.
Us living here.
Of course.
So Evan, tell us your story of how you started your style business and then took it to Cuba to uplift the community.
So basically, I started a personal styling business. I had 3 kids. I was a mom. I am a mom, and I wanted something more. So just to fulfill myself, because kids are amazing and I love them, but you can only fill your own heart yourself. So I started a styling business. I was doing editorial work. Somebody had mentioned to me that I needed to go check out Cuba. I thought he was crazy.
Some of the best things in our lives, were things that seemed like they were crazy, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was like, why do I need to go to Cuba? Like, what am I going to go see there? And, I came home basically and I said to my husband, we need to go to Cuba. And he said, I don't think so. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going. So I did. I planned a trip. I did a little research. I went by myself. Before I left to go there, somebody asked me if I would style a photo shoot while I was there. And of course I said yes. So I got some clothing donated to dress models that I'd never seen.
Wow.
I just knew it was going to be a photo shoot for a jewelry designer, Rocks, 950, my friend Rosanna now. So hopped on the plane, got off the plane, went into a business meeting with the model, photographer, and by 7 a.m. the next morning, we were getting ready to get into a van, drive around Old Havana and shoot in the most beautiful places.
Yes. And so, and that was the start. And you fell in love with Cuba. And can you tell us why? What is it that you love and you're so passionate about?
Well, I'm Jewish, and being of the Jewish faith, we're very resilient people, as many people are. And I feel like the Cubans are just that. They're resilient. They make the most out of every situation. They could be having, a horrible time. Like, I was just there in January during COVID. But my friends still, we got together, we had coffee, we sat, we talked. And that's just, the spirit of the Cuban people is beautiful. It's really beautiful. And
is that inspiring? Is that inspiring to you, Evan, as well, to see that level of resilience, to see that ability to bring joy even into a very challenging situation?
100%. 100%. When I go there, I just try and bring opportunities. I don't just go there and say, well, here I am, this American, I'm bringing charity, in a thoughtless way. It's not that at all. My sons have been doing a Cuba drive in their school ever since I started going to Cuba. So I used to go with them and speak to the Spanish classes, and now my boys just do it by themselves. And everybody brings in, new things that we can bring there and give out things, necessities, toothbrushes, toothpaste, socks.
That's amazing.
It's great.
And since then, Evan, you've even done tours to Cuba where you highlight some of the most amazing talent there. So tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, after having gone to Cuba, I started in 2017. I went several times, and I became, in fact, just obsessed with how stylish a lot of people there are. I mean, completely stylish, and a lot of vintage looking fashion. So I started meeting with designers, and
Mm.
after, you know, after having been there maybe 4 or 5 times, I was talking to somebody and I just said, there needs to be a tour that exposes all the things that I found. You know,
Yes.
nobody knew about Cuban design. Nobody knew about Cuban
Mm.
fashion. You know, people knew about mojitos and about classic cars, you know, and, you know, things that went on in history throughout, you know, throughout time, but nobody knew about all the creatives that are still there now.
Yes. Yes.
Artists, musicians.
And do they struggle to be, are they pretty cut off? So they struggle to be exposed to the world so that this kind of creativity can be shared.
I mean, you know, something, you know, listen, thank God for Spotify, because we can listen to a lot of the, you know, the bands and music. I mean, I dance more salsa in my bathroom than anybody I know.
I love that. So
Yeah.
you put salsa on and then you just like salsa while you're getting ready in the
Oh,
morning?
100%. When I'm feeling down, or like, you know, I need to lift my mood, I just crank on like Havana Di Primera, one of my favorite bands, or Sima Funk, and I
Hmm.
literally I dance in my closet. I'm so embarrassing. My kids come in, they're like, "Oh my God, mom."
You
So
also
it's
have
like,
teenagers, so it doesn't matter what you do, Evan, you're going to be embarrassing, right?
I'm so cringy. I'm so cringy to them. You know, it's so cringy. But yeah, like there I am in my bra, my underwear, you know, dancing salsa, and just, you know, I just feeling it, thinking about being, you know, somewhere that I love. You know, when I'm there, when I'm in Cuba, the second I walk off the plane, you know, I turn on my Cuban phone number, my cell phone, you know, and I smell the fry oil in the terminal, and I feel like I'm home.
Yes, yes. That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. And so Evan, besides the fact that you've been able to help these artists, and I mean, just the other day I was at a gallery opening that you had done, you know, an art exhibition that you had done for a Cuban artist. You know, what are the things that it's done inside of you personally? Because I always think that there is that, like when we give to others, it does help us fill our own cup.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. And you know what? It's brought me, you know, a whole new sense of purpose. You know, I
Mm,
growing up, you know, in New York, you know, as you know, family, you always think, you know, I'll grow up, I'll get married, I'll have children, you know, hopefully I'll have some kind of career. But going to Cuba, you know, bringing opportunity, you know, having casting calls for models, you know, being fortunate enough to be involved with community, creative community, hosting huge fashion shows there. It's purpose for me. It's brought me
yeah.
purpose. You know, I became a writer, you know, after having gone to Cuba and having my experiences. And who knew I could write? You know, I still laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a writer. I don't know how I'm doing this, but they call me a writer.
I think what also is very key, and this is something that's come up across, you know, in the conversation, is that these opportunities will come and you
Mm-hmm.
just jump at them. Like you went to a shoot, not speaking the language, not knowing anybody, not even knowing the product that you were going to be doing. I mean, you knew it was just jewelry. That's it. You also, you know, here we go. Here, oh, like I don't even know how to write, and yet you're writing, and you're writing for publications about Cuba, and so you really have that ability to just jump in and to take opportunities when they arise.
You know something? You know, they have that saying, right? You know, nothing. There's nothing worse than an opportunity missed. And
Mm,
you know, I always say, you know what? I don't know if I can use my, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck? You try
yeah.
something, it doesn't work. Okay, you move on to the next. You know,
Yes.
there's nothing worse than looking back and saying I should have done this or I should have done that. And
Mm,
also, you
mm,
know, part of that is I want my boys to see, like, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You can do
yes.
anything you want to do if you have passion in your heart. And the worst case scenario, so my article's terrible. You know, if my writing's not so good, okay, maybe it's not for me, but you know, apparently they've asked me to write more, so maybe it's not so bad.
Yes. Amazing. That's incredible. I think also your ability to laugh at yourself, you know, to go, oh well, okay, if it's not fabulous, it's not the end of the world. You know, that is a huge attribute when you're trying something new. I think our critical voices get very involved and make us feel like everything has to be perfect if we're going to do it.
Yeah, you know, listen, I'm a realist, you know. It's funny when people, like, you know, they see you on Instagram, they think you're one way, and then
Mm,
you meet them in person, and when I meet people, they're always like, you know, you're so funny, or you're so real, or you're so this, or you're so that. And you know, like everybody else, I'm insecure, I'm hard on myself, you know, and things in life aren't easy for everybody. You know, what you see on
yeah.
Instagram isn't real. You know, it's just a snippet, it's a snippet in time. You know, everyone suffers. So what I strive to fill my heart. I strive to fill my heart with things that are meaningful to make me feel good about who I am.
Mm.
So
So for those people, Evan, I think that, you know, there's a lot of people coming out, especially post COVID, right? I think we've realized how interconnected we are in the world, and there are people who are saying, well, I want to purchase things that are going to, you know, do something. Instead of just having stuff. Like, I remember when COVID first hit in New York, and everything was shut down. I mean, people were clearing out their closets, and there was so much talk around, do we need this much stuff? Do we need so many clothes? Do we need so many shoes and bags and that kind of thing? And I think that there is a greater awareness around what we buy, how we buy it, where it comes from. What are the tips for somebody starting out who says, I want to become more of a conscious purchaser? What would you say to them? What advice would you give them?
I think you need to sort of think about your lifestyle. You know, like when I style a woman, I always say to them, do you have a great pair of jeans? Do you have an amazing black blazer? Do you have, you know, a great denim jacket? You know, I just sort of, you know, it depends on their age. I just always say, you know, start out with staples, start out with good pieces. They don't have to be designer, but they just have to be solid pieces that you can sort of work around, you know, other things. And then I think as you go through your life, you pick up things. You know, you travel, you might pick up a cool little shirt, you might pick up a cool little handbag, you might pick up a great little pair of shoes. But if you have basics, you know, there's a designer, Amy Smilovic, and from Tibi, and she always calls things WOFs, without fails.
Without fails. I love that. WOFs.
WOFs.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So if you have your WOFs, you know, your staple blazer, your amazing fitting jeans, you know, your great button-down shirts, you know, the things that really are staples in your wardrobe, great leather pants, then you can incorporate things, and then you develop your own look, you develop your own style based on your experiences.
Yeah. Well, you know, what I'm referring to as well, Evan, is that because you have brought, you know, Cuban stuff here, you've come to give exposure to those designers by people purchasing from designers like that, from artisanal places, from, you know, these type of projects where you're able, you know, if you purchase through you, then you know that you're doing the good work. You know, the money's going back into the communities. That's what I'm referring to. So, you know, I think it's going to be a shift from just going from purchasing what's in stores, buying high fashion, buying fast fashion that is not ethically made, that is using slave labor just so that we can buy something for cheap to only discard it later, you know? Right. So if there are people out there who are wanting to become more conscious about the things that they buy, even the WOFs, how can they start? Because sometimes we feel overwhelmed, right? We're like, oh my goodness, just to find sustainable brands, to find things we can afford, to find things we like. You know, it's pretty outrageous. It feels like a big ask. But what are some of the simple things that people can do that will make a difference?
I mean, you can try and shop, like you said, shop sustainable fashion. You know, you can try and just shop with brands. You know, there's a brand out of Cuba called Clandestina. It's a female-owned brand. They're sustainably made. They're like icons right now in Cuba. These two women I'm friendly with, Adania and Leda. You can go online. They actually do production in the U.S. and you can purchase from them. They have amazing graphic T-shirts. They do great bucket hats. You know, you can do some research if you want to just purchase things, you know, that are ethically made, you know, sustainable fashion. And you can come to Cuba with me, and you can buy direct from the designers. You know, the money goes to help, you know, wonderful families and people there, because my tours are all, you know, people to people. So we go there and we support the Cuban people.
Amazing. So,
and I think that's my painting is actually, this is from Cuba.
Oh, wow. And I think what's great about that, Evan, is that you're buying an experience, right? Like, so pieces that I've bought on my travels, like I bought from Italy, there's a story attached to each one of them, how I found them, who made, you know, what store I bought them from. So you're buying something that is going to stand the test of time, because you're going to want to hold on to that because you have the whole story, right?
100%.
100%. That's amazing.
Evan,
that's very inspiring. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when you buy something exactly with a story behind it, you know, it makes it that much more special.
Yeah. That's incredible. Awesome. Evan, thank you so much. I really feel like this is hugely inspirational to many people. And I'm hoping that people are listening, because I do think that style can be used for a huge amount of good. And it is our culture. It's our, style, art, beautiful things are our culture. And they can help us understand other people's culture too. So,
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
Thanks. No, and I hope that people will not be afraid to travel and come with me to Cuba. Going forward, I'm going to also curate some other tours. But it's important, I think, when you go to see a different kind of country, that you're as part of the tour, especially a part of my tours, you do something good for the local people.
I agree. And so how are you combating that feeling, that need to feel safe?
You mean right now, or when you
Yes.
travel?
Yes.
To feel safe. Oh, you mean as far as being, in the U.S. or traveling, or?
No. As far as your tours are concerned. So you're talking about, helping people to feel safe within the tour. You hope they feel safe at the tour, or feel safe enough to come on the tour with you. So how are you keeping people safe on your tours?
Oh, well, my tours, I work with another company. I collaborate with a bigger company. So, when you come with me, I work under an umbrella of a larger company, for insurance purposes. And, that way we have backup, team when we travel. So when you're there with me, we stay in a place that has 24-hour security. I mean, not that Cuba is dangerous. It's not. Trust me, it's safer than New York. But whatever kind of tour, no matter what I curate, I always make sure that I have a team in place, where we stay, like I said, is completely safe. You don't have to worry. You're with the Jewish mom. It's always safe.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much. So if people need to contact you, they can do so through Instagram. And then Evan, if people, because this will go onto YouTube and Facebook, etc. as well, how can they contact you if they're interested in any of your work or your tours?
They could just message me on Style by Evan or Cuba by Evan on my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, or they could, email me, evanelkowitz@hotmail, or, I can give out my phone number. They can call me.
Okay. Well, I will put the details to your Instagram down below in the description for YouTube, and that way people can contact you directly. So thank you so much. Thanks again. I mean, like we went, thanks again. Okay, cool ending. And then, whoa, that's interesting. Let's carry on.
Exactly. We're resilient. We bounce back. That's
right. I tell you. Yeah. And so if anybody is new to the show, this is the Tracy Gold Show. And this is where we have amazing, inspiring interviews and tips and a whole bunch of stuff for women over 40, 50, 60 and beyond to inspire you to live your best life, midlife and beyond. So feel free to follow us here on Instagram, because this is where they are live. If you're watching the replay on Facebook or on YouTube, get over onto Instagram and come and join us live. We do that 1 p.m. Tuesdays to Fridays EDT time. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to chat to you, Evan. Have a wonderful day.
Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.